Our story continues with Goku steering down his adversary, who had fully transformed into a full-power Super Saiyan 3. The aura and force she was emitting was intense as outside of the Genjutsu. The planet was showing signs of exploding due to the sheer increase in energy levels. The strength of both warriors kept increasing, pressing Itachi into a corner. This drastic increase in power had put a strain on Itachi, forcing him to realize that his chakra was almost fully tapped out. Knowing that if Goku breaks free, their death is inevitable, he desperately tries to hold the jutsu together. "Jiraiya boy, look at him," said Shima. "He can't hold the jutsu much longer." His bleeding eyes said it all. Everything was on the table. Itachi's weakened state was clear to see by everyone. Even Kisame, who was desperately fighting to buy him some time, recognized it. "Come on, why isn't it working? It's been almost 15 minutes now, it should have taken effect already." Suddenly, out of nowhere, Itachi realized that time was of the essence. He spoke up. This is it. While looking straight at Son Goku, knowing that his death was almost certain, he turned to Kisame and spoke. "I'm at my limit. I don't know how long I can hold this genjutsu together. 5 minutes at best, maybe even less. Kisame, you should use this opportunity to escape. There's nothing we can do at this point. I thought he would have run out of chakra by now, but I was wrong. It looks as if he is just getting started." However, Kisame wasn't about to give up just yet. His face protruded a look of confidence, almost as if he was patiently waiting for something to happen. Suddenly, with an inside voice, he mutters to himself, "Come on, why is this thing taking so long to kick in?" Itachi, on the other hand, could tell that Kisame was up to something, but after witnessing and feeling the terror of Goku's chakra firsthand, his mind was forced into believing that a god had resided in Goku's body. "Whatever you're planning, forget it," said Itachi. "It's hopeless. Nothing that you come up with would ever work on a being that powerful." Suddenly, after speaking with Kisame, with just a slight glance to the right, the rogue ninja turned facing Jiraiya and spoke what he believed to be his last words. "Jiraiya, there's something I need to ask you. After my death, what will become of my little brother? It's imperative that I know." Jiraiya was a little bit stunned, but he wasn't completely surprised. After all, he was one of the few people who knew about Itachi's mission, and the choice he made to spare the life of his younger brother speaks clearly of a man that cares deeply for his sibling. "To everyone in Konoha, Sasuke is a traitor," said Jiraiya, him being a traitor, but before Jiraiya could finish, he was abruptly cut short by an enraged Naruto. Anger was the only emotion he could feel as the cloak of the Nine Tails was completely wrapped around his entire body. "Enough," yelled Naruto with the goal of making sure that everyone on the battlefield heard his loud voice. "Let's get this clear. Sasuke will never be a traitor, and even if everyone is against him, I won't. He is my friend and I'll be the one to save him." This wasn't the answer that Itachi was hoping for, but somehow he was pleased with it. A smile began to break out on his face as he mumbled a few words to himself. "There, little Sasuke, you've made yourself a good friend." Instantly, at the blink of an eye, an abundance of shuriken dangerously targets Goku, who for the time being was still trapped inside the genjutsu. Both Jiraiya and Naruto jumped out of the way, thinking that the shuriken was targeting them. However, they read the situation wrong. Itachi was a prodigy. Even though he couldn't move from the spot that he was standing in, his technique was still flawless. Each shuriken bounced off each other with the goal of striking down everyone on the battlefield. "Naruto," said Jiraiya, "something feels wrong." However, when he realized, it was almost too late. Not only were the shuriken targeting Goku, they were targeting both of them as well. Suddenly, realizing that both Jiraiya and Naruto had read the situation and were about to act on this information, Kisame had released a blank mist that had completely covered the entire area, blindsiding them in the process. "A mist," said Jiraiya as he was completely caught off guard. "Who did this?" he yelled before remembering Kisame. The shuriken targeted them like a hawk, soaring down from the sky searching for its next prey. However, Jiraiya, being the legendary Sannin, evades every single one. "That bastard. It doesn't matter anyway, with all this wind, he won't be able to keep it up much longer." Outside of the mist, the shuriken that was targeting Goku had reached its target. However, on impact, they completely melt from the sheer force and heat radiating off Goku's body. Itachi had witnessed all this live. His face was emotionless, almost as if he had expected this to happen. "Well, it didn't hurt to try. This mist is fading. said Jiraiya before instantly dropping to his hand and feet like a toad, while firing an attack at Itachi, who stood helpless, due to the fact that if he moved, the genjutsu would instantly break, releasing Goku from his mind prison. Kisame would realize this and forcefully jump in front of Itachi, suffering the full brunt of Jiraiya's attack. The attack was fast and brutal, it quickly pierced his body like butter. Kisame did his best to block, however, he was fading fast as he had lost a lot of blood. Itachi was stunned out of his mind, he had accepted his fate, and was planning on dying gracefully. "Geez Itachi," said Kisame. "You're such a pain in the ass. Listen up, I'll grant you 3 minutes and not a second more." "What are you doing?" said Itachi. "It doesn't matter how much time you grant me, he is simply too powerful for one man to handle. I can still feel his chakra rising, in a matter of minutes, my hold over his mind will be broken." "I'm not going to let you die," said Kisame, before pulling Jiraiya's attack from his body. "If we survive this, no, when we survive this, you owe me a meal from your favorite restaurant." The backlash of the fight was intense. The force emanating from the battle had caused natural disasters to occur all over the world. Such a level of power didn't go unnoticed as far beyond the battlefield. Zetsu, a member of the Akatsuki, was observing patiently from deep within the forest. "Well, would you look at that," replied Zetsu. "We are not used to seeing you expose yourself, Obito." Suddenly out of nowhere, Obito had transported himself directly to the left of Zetsu by using his Kamui. "What is the situation?" said Obito. "I can feel Itachi's chakra dropping fast." Realizing that time was of the essence, Zetsu spoke. "Itachi had caught up with his target and now he's fighting that man as we speak. It appears he had trapped this man in a genjutsu, but the way it is now, it could break any moment. Kisame is trying his best to protect him due to the fact that Itachi can't afford to move or else he might lose focus. The situation is bad. Not only is he protecting Itachi, he's doing it while fighting the legendary Sannin and the Nine Tails. What are your orders?" "Based on my observations, this man's chakra is quite dangerous." Obito's gaze was locked in, his attention was grabbed and his interest was at its peak. "So, they're fighting Jiraiya and Naruto as well." Zetsu was confused as he didn't know who Obito was talking about, so out of curiosity, he asked, "Who is Naruto?" "It's the boy," replied Obito, "the Jinchuriki that holds the 9 tails." "I'm surprised you know the names of all the Jinchurikis," said Zetsu. "Not all," yelled Obito. "Just him." The conversation was cut short as Goku's ki kept increasing. The planet was in total chaos, due to not being able to withstand such force being plunged into it. Instantly, at the blink of an eye, a bolt of lightning strikes down from the heavens, leaving a huge crater in the middle of the forest directly where both Zetsu and Obito were. The light from the lighting was blinding as Zetsu had covered his face in effort to protect his eyes from being damaged. "I don't understand," yelled Zetsu. "With such a huge difference in power between them, Itachi shouldn't be able to use genjutsu on this being, so how did he do it?" While Zetsu was completely shocked, Obito stood calm. All that was on his mind was capturing Goku. "The level of one's chakra has little influence for genjutsu," said Obito as he himself was quite adapted to using the technique. "Genjutsu is a battle of the mind, so Itachi being much weaker than this man has little merit to this situation." Obito then goes further to explain that the genjutsu's goal is to manipulate the chakra that flows in one's brain, leaving them in a controlled dream state created by themselves. "We are capable of using our victim's own memories and desires against them. In other words, the victim is an accomplice to the genjutsu, meaning whatever he is seeing is what he created based on his own desires." "Yes, I understand that," replied Zetsu. "But I've seen plenty of shinobi's power through genjutsu before. So what makes this so unique?" Obito, being the expert he is, had deduced exactly what Itachi had done to control the mind of Goku. In just a few minutes of observing, he had debunked Itachi's entire strategy. The genjutsu Itachi uses is very specific and tailored to him and him alone. You see, this man possesses a fountain of chakra, and even with Itachi's Tsukiyomi, he still has the power needed to break through it at any time if he becomes aware. Itachi must keep him in a coherent dream, while appealing to his every desire. However, that is the difficult part. "How can I explain this to you?" replied Obito. "You see, Itachi needs to stimulate the right areas of the brain, to see how his emotions react to each other without creating a major disturbance. That's why Kisame is protecting him, because it's taking everything he has to maintain control, and if he moves, he could lose focus. To be honest, it takes such dexterity that I don't think I would bet my life on it, as this strategy is based on him burning through his chakra. What do you mean? Said Zetsu, as Obito's intel had opened Zetsu's mind, giving him a huge amount of information on the Mangekyo Sharingan that he never knew. What I mean is, if Itachi loses control over his emotions, the dream could turn into a nightmare, said Obito. The moment this being realizes something is wrong, they're dead. Both Zetsu and Obito watch Kisame desperately try to protect Itachi. Kisame had used up almost all of his chakra. The small amount of chakra he's using to fend off Jiraiya and Naruto is the chakra that Samahada is giving him. I see, said Zetsu as he watched the fight from afar. What is the plan? Do you want me? But before he could utter another word, Obito spoke. We'll do nothing. This had stunned Zetsu in his tracks. Excuse me, he replied. Not once anticipating this response. Interfering now could disrupt Itachi and jeopardize his hold on the Genjutsu. Obito, we can't just leave them like that, replied Zetsu as he knew that it's only a matter of time before the Genjutsu breaks. On this one they're on their own. Let's go, said Obito before transporting himself from the forest back to the hideout. Soon after Obito followed, but not before saying his prayers. It's such a shame, I would have liked to see you fight against your little brother. Good luck Kisame and Itachi. Back inside the Genjutsu, the battle was getting heated. Blows for blows were exchanged with Goku standing on top. The Earth was starting to move from its orbit as a huge chunk of its core had been destroyed by the fight. Due to the increase in power, Goku was proving to be too much for the Saiyan woman to handle. Everything she throws at Goku, he instinctively blocks. This had led to the Saiyan woman getting very angry. This piece of shit, she yelled as her blows was once again blocked by Goku. Unexpectedly to the audience at home, Goku had found a crack in her defense, and with that error brought along a powerful blow that had landed successfully, sending the Saiyan woman plummeting to the ground. How is this even possible? Said the Saiyan woman as she was forced in an awkward position on the ground. Her face had a look of discomfort as Goku's blow had stung. Why can't I hit him? She yelled while looking up at the Saiyan. How pitiful, said Goku. You did all these transformations just to end up losing like this. Goku was planning on ending the fight. He didn't feel enthusiastic about this battle anymore. So with his fist floating back, he was prepared to deliver the finishing blow. However, his unluckiness in finishing a fight and had a stroke once more. Only this time in the form of a deadly poison that Kisame had managed to inject him with a while back. What's happening to my body? Yelled Goku as instantly he dropped from Super Saiyan 3 to base. What's going on? Said the Saiyan woman before the Genjutsu had completely shattered, causing the Saiyan's woman to disappear from existence. What? Yelled Itachi as he was stunned out of his mind. What's going on? Did he run out of chakra? No, that can't be. Just a second ago, his chakra was as strong as ever. Suddenly from the far right, Kisame started to laugh before speaking out loud. Finally, Sasori's poison has taken effect. I was starting to believe that he was immune, nevertheless, my gamble had worked. Suddenly, Itachi had dropped to his knees. He had a lot of questions, but due to him using up 99% of his chakra, it was imperative for him to save his energy or he could die. The fight had stopped between both parties and the planet was somewhat peaceful. The ocean had calmed down and the violetness of the wind had halted. Quick notice guys, after you have finished watching this video, please do your boy a favor and subscribe to my second channel. The link can be found in the description and comment section below. Thank you. Both Jiraiya and Naruto were confused. They feel as if their mind is playing tricks on them. I don't recall seeing when he poisoned him. If he did, that would have to be before we arrived. However, that was over 3 hours ago. But if that's the case, he should be dead by now, said Naruto before the Nine Tails cloak begins to leave his body. Suddenly, without Jiraiya realizing, Samahada began to give Itachi the little chakra it had left, just enough to get him to stand up on his feet. Kisame, said Itachi, I need you to tell me more about this, however it's not wise to stay here. The Leaf Shinobi could be closing in as we speak. What about him? Said Kisame. It's best to capture him while he is unconscious. It's too complicated and time-consuming to capture him now. Let's retreat. Jiraiya was listening in on the conversation, and after hearing that they planned to retreat, his mind was dead set on stopping them right there and now. Like hell, I'll let you. We're already gone. With the little chakra I have left, I managed to put you under my Genjutsu Jiraiya-sensei. In a few seconds your frogs will release you from my illusion. I suggest you take this moment of rest to prepare a scroll to seal my dark flames. And why is that? Replied Jiraiya, as he didn't know what Itachi was implying. When you are freed from my jutsu, please take a look behind you. One more thing, according to Kisame, if you look in his ripped Akatsuki robe, you find an antidote for the poison. After all, he is no use to us dead. It took both Shima and Fukasaku a few seconds to break the Genjutsu. However, when Jiraiya had the chance to look around, he was greeted with something horrific. Naruto's entire body was covered in dark flame.
So I hate to say it, for me there's a better path to power. It's not love.
And that's it for today's video, guys. Stay tuned for part 11 to see what challenges the Saiyans face next. If you support me in this story, then please subscribe to my second channel right here. With that being said, don't forget to drop a like and also subscribe to this channel as well. Thanks for getting us to 29K subscribers. Our goal is 100K.